AITA for being mad at my wife for releasing a bunny in the middle of the yard? A few days ago my kids found a little bunny and brought it home. And they were begging us to keep it. But we can't keep a wild rabbit and already have several pets. The bunny was big enough to fend for itself. And I tried to nicely tell my kids that it needs to go back home to its family. They were sad, but agreed to take it back. However, I was busy with work and couldn't go with them. So my wife went. I told her to take the bunny to some thorn bushes at the end of the property and let it go there. Because that's the safest place to do it. We live in a country area ripe with predators. Well, I went back to work. But a little while later my kids came running back into the house loudly crying with my wife trailing after and trying to calm them down and tell them it's not so bad. I asked what happened, and my eldest said that Mama made them let the bunny go in the middle of the yard. And a hawk took it. They even described the poor bunny's screams. I was mortified, and then angry at my wife for not letting it go the way I'd advised. She defended herself and said it was just a bunny. The kids will get over it. Quote, but I said that was absolutely wrong. And I warned her of predators. And now our kids had to see that poor bunny get carried away by a hawk. Both of our kids shut themselves in their rooms and stopped talking to their mother for days. And when she tries to talk to them they call her the bunny killer. I have tried to mediate, but my kids are still mad. And I'm still mad at my wife for how things went down. She's angry with me for not having her back. And said as husband and wife, we're always supposed to support one another. But we got into an argument where I pointed out numerous times she has not had my back. She started crying too, and has gone off to our room to pout. I'm thinking I screwed up now. So a friend told me to ask here. AITA? Edit. Yes, I understand hawks need to eat too. And they are all over our area. I just didn't want my kids to see something so young. They are 4 and 5 years old. I grew up country boy. And my wife was a city girl. And when I was growing up, any similar situation with a wild critter that was caught, we'd try to let go in a place where it'd have a fighting chance. Edit 2. I did not yell at my wife. Where exactly in my post does it say I did that? I admonished her. Yes. But I didn't yell. Not even when we argued later on. We did that in whispers so the kids wouldn't hear us. And I couldn't go with them to release the bunny because I couldn't get away from my office. I work from home half the week. And have to be near the phone at all times to answer a call while on the clock. Unless on my lunch break. I also never once called my wife the BK nickname our kids are calling her after what happened with the bunny. And I've tried to make them stop. I will not call my wife such a thing. It's degrading and I'd be acting like a bully. Edit 3. Apologies for so many edits. But my children were not playing in the yard unsupervised. My wife is a stay-at-home mom. And was with them when they found the bunny. They came running back to the house with it. And I had to tell them it needed to be let go. NTA to the people saying, YTA, because your wife didn't summon the hawk. You warned her specifically that there were predators that would try to take it when it was released. You predicted that this could happen. Your wife ignored. And it happened. Now, I'm not gonna say she murdered the rabbit. But she should be equally horrified that that happened in front of your kids and should apologize for it going down the way it did. She didn't summon the hawk. But it sounds like you live in an area where it didn't need to be summoned. Not just a bunny. NJB. And you're NTA. The only way your wife has a chance of earning her children's trust and respect is by owning up to her failure. She failed that baby bunny 100%. She needs to acknowledge this before your children and accept their rightful judgment. NTA. I get the whole united front thing, but this not about your kids neglecting their chores or getting a bad grade though it's nature. Seeing those things at a young age can be very traumatic. And chasing them around saying they will get over it. It's not okay. Sorry, but your wife is ta in this. And she has to know she was wrong, otherwise why would she be mad? NTA. It's nature. Totally get that. Very high chance the bunny's life would have been ended by a predator no matter where it was released. But releasing it in a safer spot like the bushes is the kind thing to do. For the bunny and for your kids who brought it home. Nobody wants to see an animal they were fond of get killed. In Ta, the part that irks me the most is where she says that y'all are always supposed to have each other's backs. Disagreements are normal and no one should be blindly having another's back. NTA. It's just a bunny. Get over it. That sounds like a perfectly okay thing to say when your kids are crying. She's angry with me for not having her back. And said as husband and wife, we're always supposed to support one another. So then why? When you have a simple proactive suggestion to prevent exactly this problem. Did she not have your back? Your husband and wife. So why wasn't she supportive when you wanted to prevent your kids from getting traumatized? NTA. NTA. I'm sure the rabbit would have been food for something eventually, but your kids didn't need to see that. Your kids need to learn to leave wildlife alone though. NTA. Bunny screams are horrible. It would have taken just a little bit more effort and consideration to avoid it all. NTA. For young kids. An event like that is horrific. The worst part about it all is how completely oblivious your wife is. You said you have multiple pets. It may be an move, but if your wife still refuses to acknowledge anything, ask her how she would feel if your pet dog was set in the middle of the street intentionally and the kids saw a car hit it. But it's just a dog. They'll get over it. NTA. You have absolutely nothing to apologize for, but stay on track. Don't bring up past arguments. She only brought up the past because she was being defensive and didn't have any other excuses for what she did. She's ta big time. She owes the kids a major apology and needs to make it up to them somehow. She also owes you an apology for not taking your common sense advice. The longer she waits to make things right, the worse it'll be for the kids and everyone else. NTA. The hawk was probably going to eat it anyway, but not in front of the kids. NTA. I mean, you did give her instructions and she technically assisted in the bunny dying in the moment. As long as you're not calling her bunny killer, I don't see how much more supportive you could be. What does she expect for you to do when the children witnessed the bunny dying right before their eyes? The most you can do is have a sit down with your kids and talk to them about death. More specifically, the cycle of life in the animal kingdom. OFC, if they're too young, that's a different story. Why didn't she just listen to you? Does she at least have a viable explanation? If she accepted her mistakes, then I would say ESH, but so far from the post. She's just been combative and unapologetic. NTA. She dismissed your advice and is mad you don't have her back? Too bad. The situation sucks, but she needs to admit her mistake and apologize to the kids. It would be one thing if she was just completely clueless and this happened on accident. But that's not what happened. You told her a safer plan for the bunny release and she intentionally chose to do something that turned out to be super traumatic for your young children. She's definitely the and I can see why your kids are upset. You also mentioned that there are times she doesn't have your back with parenting, so I'm thinking there are some issues here that probably require some family, marriage counseling. And I'm honestly wondering if she's intentionally being an for some malicious reason. NTA. Op, and good luck with your future family dynamics. NTA. You thought it was likely something bad would happen to the bunny, and asked her to take it into the bushes so the kids wouldn't see anything traumatic. Your wife is the one who didn't do what you asked. It's not her fault the hawk came down, but the kids wouldn't have seen it if she'd just taken it to the bushes. Sounds like there are some deeper relationship issues at play here though. NTA The sounds that rabbits make while being attacked by predators sounds like kids being attacked. That makes the trauma worse. When I was living at the east rim of the Grand Canyon, the crows would eat the young rabbits and it was awful sounding to hear them screaming while walking through the woods. So your wife, because she did not listen to you, made matters so much worse. Yeah. NTA. We have saved baby birds that fell out of their nests, fed them a couple of days to get them stronger, and then put them in their box with straw out under bush. Nature is brutal, especially for babies. You were right to tell her to put the little guy under the thorny bushes. Had you knew she was going to do what she did, I'm sure you would have said you'd do it later. Your wife didn't even give that little guy a fighting chance, and your kids will never unsee that. We had to kill a baby rabbit that was run over by a car. My friend worked at a vet, and we sent her pictures. She said he was too injured to save, so we did what we had to do. And the screams from that little guy still haunt me. I cried for weeks as an adult. Your wife is pretty cruel to think your kids will get over that. NTA. You told her exactly how to release the animal to avoid this exact situation. She couldn't be bothered walking to some bushes, and her laziness meant your children witnessed something terrible. Her then instant attempt to minimize her own actions and then deflect blame ensured she remained in the wrong. She brought this on herself and won't take responsibility for her actions. NTA. I mean, has she even admitted she f'd up and should never have said it was just a bunny? The kids will get over it. Quote. Yikes. Sorry man, I hope this blows over, but is unlikely to until she admits she was wrong.
If you enjoyed this video, please check out our playlists full of similar content. AmITheAsshole is like doom scrolling for your ears. Please like, share, and subscribe.